Professor Black Ops, you see it, let's get it. Just another Zelle scam. They happen so regularly now, but just trying to keep people on their toes for the holiday season. So let's go through the quick article. Portland woman has $23,000 stolen through her Zelle payment app. The Portland woman scammed out of $23,000 after someone posing as a Chase Bank representative stole money through the Zelle mobile banking app. The trouble started when Lisa Osborn got an unexpected text messages warning JP Morgan Chase Bank alert. Did you attempt a Zelle payment of about amount of 5,000? The Portland woman had received similar looking fraud warnings before, but then her phone rang and the number showed Chase banking account. Osborne answered thinking someone from the bank was calling to help. What she didn't know at this time is it wasn't Chase Bank. So a lot of times when you spoof a phone, you can actually make it say Chase or whatever company you're impersonating. So don't fall for that. Instead, it was a scammer who claimed to be a bank representative named Charles. The man on the end of the line provided Osborne account information to make his story more believable. It's not clear where the scammer got all these details. They asked me if they could verify this was my home address, and they read me my home address. And they asked me if these were the last four digits of my social security number. They read those numbers displaying on board. The clerk suggested that the bank could reverse the fraudulent charges by using her mobile banking app called Zelle. Osborne had never transferred money through Zelle before, but recognized the name. It is owned by several banks, including Chase. It is widely promoted as safe and easy to send and receive money. In fact, Zelle is built right into Chase mobile and online banking app. It wasn't a separate app on my phone, said Osborne. It was inside Chase online banking service. The crook helped Osborne set up a Zelle account so she could transfer the money back to herself, thinking it was a refund. Instead, the fraudulent likely diverted those payments. Although it's not clear how, the money was taken out of Osborne's three Chase account and went to the scammer. 23,000, said Osborne. That's a lot of money. It's a very big portion of the earnings in a year. Throughout this scam, which played out over a couple of days, Osborne tried to alert the real Chase Bank several times. KGW investigated Zelle if it bears any responsibility when the customers are defrauded through the platform. The spokesperson for the company said consumers should contact their financial institution and file a claim if they believe they were a victim of fraud. So the answer is the bank is bearing no responsibility. They're pushing that stuff back on Zelle. Protecting consumers from fraud and scam is a top priority, said the Zelle spokesperson. The Portland woman hoped that her longtime bank Chase would help her recover lost money. She called and even tried multiple departments. Chase's response to me has been that it's my fault. Pay attention. Chase Bank response is that it's your fault. After weeks of fighting and filing claims only with separate inquiries, Chase changed his mind and agreed to help Osborne and get her money back. Federal laws requires bank to reimburse you for this type of fraud. This is an important part is you need to act immediately, said Chuck, spokesperson of the FTC. This is a federal law called Electronic Fund Transfer Act that limits your liability when you are a victim of a scam like this and when you transfer money in an unauthorized way. Another federal agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, confirmed with KJW that consumers who suffered unauthorized transactions are entitled to this federal protection, and banks are required to refund their stolen money. Chase wouldn't respond to our direct question about Osborne case, citing customer privacy. Instead, the bank issued a written statement. We urge all consumers never to share their banking passwords or send money to someone who will prevent fraud on their account. Bank employees won't call, text, or email consumers asking for this, but crooks will. Osborne worried that scammers have found a weakness in exploiting the system, so consumers need to protect themselves. Never trust anyone who calls or texts and wants to perform a financial transaction, even if the person appears from the bank. So once again, it's the holiday season. Be safe out there. Don't fall for these Zelle or mobile app scams. That applies to Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, all the Venmo, all the apps out there. So once again, have a great holiday. Professor Black Ops, please subscribe.
It says JP Morgan Chase banking alert. Did you attempt a Zelle payment in the
The trouble started when Lisa Mae Osborn got an unexpected text message warning Chase Bank alert. Did you attempt a Zelle payment for the amount of $5,000?
And I just immediately answered no.
The Portland woman had received fraud warnings like this before, but then the phone rang and the number showed Chase Bank, although it wasn't really. A scammer claimed to be a bank rep in the fraud department and even provided account information, making his story even more believable. It's not clear where the scammer got all these details.
And they asked me if these were the last 4 digits of my Social Security number, and they read me those numbers. And so
the crook suggested the bank could reverse the fraudulent charges by using a mobile banking app called Zelle.
Zelle is an easy way to send and receive money with friends and family.
Osborn hadn't used Zelle before, but recognized the name. It's owned by several banks, including Chase, and widely promoted. Zelle is built right into their mobile and online banking.
It wasn't a separate app on my phone. I was in the Chase online banking service.
The crook helped Osborn set up a Zelle account, then transfer money to herself thinking it was a refund. Instead, the fraudster likely diverted those payments, although it's not clear how. The money, taken out of her 3 Chase accounts, went to the scammer.
$23,000 plus.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. It's a very big portion of my earnings in a year.
Throughout this scam, which played out over a couple days, Osborn tried to alert the real Chase Bank several times.
I called Chase again the next day. What's going on? Why is this happening? Why haven't you stopped this? Hold, please. I was on hold 2.5 hours, probably, and then the call dropped.
Similar stories have been reported around the U.S.
NBC News found people across the country who say hackers used Zelle to drain their bank accounts.
I had $3,000 get pulled out of my account.
$190.
$1,500.
A Zelle spokesperson said protecting consumers from fraud and scams is a top priority for us, and the company is warning people about this sophisticated phishing scheme.
Hi, this is Mark with your bank. I've noticed your account's been locked, and I just need your bank credentials to help you get that unlocked.
The Portland woman hoped her longtime bank, Chase, would help recover her lost money. She called and called multiple departments.
So far, Chase's response to me has been that this is my fault and that I should have known.
After weeks of fighting and filing claims, along with a separate inquiry from KGW, Chase changed its mind and agreed to help. Osborn got her money back. Federal law requires banks to reimburse you for this type of fraud. Chuck Harwood is with the Federal Trade Commission.
The important part is you need to act immediately. There is a federal law called the Electronic Funds Transfers Act, EFTA, that limits your liability when you are the victim of a scam like this and when you transfer money in an unauthorized way.
Another federal agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, confirmed to KGW that consumers who suffer unauthorized transactions are entitled to this federal protection, and banks are required to refund the stolen money. Chase wouldn't respond to our direct questions about Osborn's case, citing customer privacy. Instead, a bank spokesperson issued a written statement explaining in part, "We urge all consumers never to share their banking password or to send money to someone who says it will prevent fraud on their account. Bank employees won't call, text, or email consumers asking for this, but crooks will."
I do believe they are responsible to help their customers with this.
Osborn worries that scammers have found a weakness and are exploiting the system. So consumers need to protect themselves. Never trust anyone who calls or texts and wants you to perform a financial transaction, even if the person appears to be from your bank. Instead, call the bank yourself. And don't give out verification codes to anyone, because you never know who's on the other end of the line.
Okay, KGW's Kyle Laboshi joining us now. So Kyle, unfortunately, this is probably going to happen again. I mean, so what should people do if they get ripped off like this?
I'd say complain as soon as possible with as much documentation as possible. That means filing a complaint with your bank or any other company involved. And speed is really important here. In most cases, by law, you've got 2 days after you learn that you've been duped to file a report. So do that right away. Also, file complaints with the FTC and State Attorney General's office. That could be Oregon, Washington, wherever you may live. They document these type of situations and sometimes can help. And really, be prepared for a fight here. Banks, they should take responsibility, but sometimes that takes some pushing.
Yeah, as you proved, for sure. All right, Kyle Aboshi, thank you.